haunted mount, reapers put you down in the grave. Angels on my team, haunted souls in my chain. I'll haunt you forever if I die today. Try the haunted mount, boy, you can die today. Haunted mount, haunted mount, haunted mount, ha 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 ha. Haunted mount, haunted mount, haunted mount, ha 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 ha. Haunted mount, haunted mount, haunted mount, ha 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 ha. Go down on 'em, coming straight from the haunted mount. I push you down in the ground, yo bitch want me to fuck her mouth.
Recording is on.
Can you see me?
Can I see you?
Oh, there I am. Yeah, I couldn't see myself. There we
Yeah,
go.
I can see you eating an Uncrustable.
No, this is not an Uncrustable. It's a snack wrap.
Yeah, I didn't know they made snack wraps too.
This honestly kicks ass.
Where is it from? Did you make it?
My brother's girlfriend made it.
Hell yeah, dude. Hell yeah. Is she a chef? Does she have any professional training? Nice.
No, but she bakes. She's a pretty good baker.
Respect. I bought a rotisserie chicken today for the first time in a long time, which always alarms me. But here in Louisiana, they have the standard is they'll have the regular rotisserie and also a lemon pepper rotisserie, which I've never had. At least a whole chicken of lemon pepper variety, and I felt disgusting. I was always alarmed by the fact that like a rotisserie chicken like cooked is always like cheaper than just buying like a whole chicken like raw. But yeah, it was good. It made me happy to not be committed pescatarian anymore for a short minute.
Okay. I just started recording, so.
Cool.
And I think this time around I'm going to be totally sober because I didn't realize, but I think I got actually like kind of fucked up by the end of the episode because I listened to episode 3 and I was not making any sense at all in the last like 15 minutes of the show.
That's fine, dude. We did like fucking 3 hours, so if you struggle with the last 15, I don't think anyone I think if anything that probably adds to it.
There's like, because we had the counter with the your what's it?
Oh yeah, but I wasn't actually tracking, obviously. Like,
oh, I know, because it's like 6,400. I thought that was funny.
Yeah, I like that you can't see like actually if you're hitting it or not. It's just use your imagination. The gummies too. I was just like, I kind of lost track. I'm not gonna fuck around.
Yeah.
Should I get my Palo Alto or not Alto? What's
Palo Alto? Like go
Palo
burn
Santo.
Palo Alto. That'll improve the vibes. Yeah.
Yeah, my vibes are clean today. I had the chicken really cleansed me.
Shit.
I don't know if you added more notes.
No.
Thing,
Did you have show notes?
I didn't. I just left it up as gay sex for episode 3, but that's okay. I figured
I think we've already done 2 episodes.
Well, I figured that's enough of a tone. I figured instead of gay sex, we could just we could talk about regular sex, normal sex, we should say. Just kidding. I'm not homophobic, not anymore. But I figured if you're feeling up to it, I figure since we did sex, or we did gay, not sex, we did just gay, and then we did drugs sort of loosely, and I figure for clickbait, I think we could just do a sexy episode. We don't have to stick to that the whole time, but
interesting.
If you have any,
is it sexy or is it sexy?
It can be sex. It can be both. It could be whatever.
I like the idea, the theme of sexy as in like the adjective, just as it's generally used.
So what does that mean for
aesthetic
conversation?
Shorthand for I don't know, aesthetic art or whatever.
Okay.
I have no idea, like how like a fucking Ninja 300. Kawasaki Ninja 300's a sexy.
Yes, I guess in that way, yes, but I don't think that's really clickbaity. Do you see what I'm getting at? Is where
No, I
like
get it.
but
Yeah.
I mean, like I'd be happy to talk about what you find sexy in the
I
aesthetic way.
No, but that actually like pushes itself into being libidinal though when you think about it.
A
Like
bit.
I don't know
A what?
how much you like objectify yourself when you do things, but you're like I don't know. This is probably not beating the autism allegations
Okay.
type thing to say, but man, I realize my grammar is just fucking horrible. Um anyway, but when there are like certain things that you'll end up doing, you're like, wow, to an outside observer with the right eye, this is hot as fuck what I'm doing right now.
This is
Like,
hot as fuck.
yeah, this is sex. Yeah, I'm sexy as fuck right now. Like,
Could you give me an
just
example?
when you like are doing like weighted pull-ups and you're just like blasting past the bar, you're not just getting your chin above the bar, but you're like pulling like real high with like, you know, like more than like 45 pounds either on a vest or, you know, you're like, this is sexy as fuck right
So
now.
you're like imagining yourself from like a viewer, like a third person perspective of like, wow, they must like want to, yeah, okay, I can understand that.
That, or if you like can power clean more than your body weight for reps and shit, like that's like, I don't know. I mean, at least in the eyes of a woman, they're gonna be like, yo, what, damn, you know.
Well, I think in the eyes of a man, of a gay man too.
Yeah.
But I think, is there anything non-related to working out? Maybe, perhaps.
Yeah, just being a squid.
Okay.
You know, where you're not wearing any protective gear and you're just gunning it on a motorcycle down the highway. No protection.
This is called a squid. I'm not familiar with that.
Yeah, squids like motorcyclists who don't wear
they just wear like shorts and a t-shirt and flip-flops.
Yeah, or whatever the fuck, and they just go. Yeah.
Nice. Did not know that. That's a hot thing too. See, that sounds like hot from a guy's perspective of what he's imagining a girl's perspective to be. You know that meme of like, she probably thinks I'm so hot and it's just like a fat chud cell guy. And that's how I imagine like a guy thinking when he rides a motorcycle with no protection. It's like, wow, they must think I'm fucking rad, but no one gives a fuck.
No, everybody just thinks you're an idiot.
Well, there are a few girls. Don't get me wrong. There will definitely be a few girls who are like, I want that, but I don't personally know those girls, but I know that it's. Yeah. I can't poo-poo it for sure.
It's just like putting off the quasi-suicidal vibes.
Yeah,
suicidal hot boy vibes.
Does that mean you attract
stupid? Like, because I project that being hot onto other people, like where in my personal experience, women do not. They're not interested in that. They just are like concerned for you.
Yeah, and I think and that's what I mean. Like, it can attract like that caretaker thing that I think a lot of people confuse for like love or like romantic interest or sexual interest, that they confuse with like this maternal instinct to protect, which may work well for a lot of people. You know what I mean? I'm not poo-pooing it. But I think maybe, it either attracts that or like a suicide girl or like a girl who listens to like Xavier Wolf, like Die Hard, like Suicide Boys type of girl, you know?
Yeah, that's fair.
Which, nothing wrong with that either. I just,
there's absolutely nothing wrong with that.
Absolutely not. We're not here to judge. Absolutely not. In terms of what I think is aesthetically, well, yeah, I have to say that after doing 4 years of being a cam-all, I'll have to say that I just did the plain thing of like, wow, I'm sure someone thinks I look good here, as I sit and like edit a video of myself for hours on end. It's like, it's a very pretentious thing, but like the whole time I have to believe like, oh, someone will actually like enjoy this, even though it's like inherently like a sexual thing anyway. So I don't know, that probably doesn't count or contribute to the conversation, but that I'll just say that I would like to return to doing sexy things that don't have to be sexual at all. Which I think I have, hopefully. But I do pull-ups alone in my room, so no one's there to watch. Just for
You should just live stream pull-ups.
But instead I will imagine Adam imagining me doing weighted pull-ups in my room. I did buy a belt recently, so I can finally weight myself. Yeah,
that's good.
That is hot. Yeah. So me and Adam, when we first meet up again, we're gonna go to the gym and make out. Well, actually, we're just gonna do weighted pull-ups together, for sure. Have you received any feedback from? I meant to check in first. Have you received any Base Canyon messages?
Me? No.
Okay.
I mean, I haven't checked the account either.
That's fine. Don't worry. I'm managing that. I just didn't know if someone tried to find you on. I don't know.
I did get a random ad attempt out of nowhere, but I have like 50 of them piled up, and I don't know which one it was. And I'm not gonna scroll through it. I have my Instagram on like a lockout timer to keep me from using it. So
that's smart. So, how long have you been using that?
Few months now, but I'm like being really serious about it now. Like I've gotten really serious about very let me start that over. Limiting myself to like less than 20 minutes a day, and I'm doing pretty good. I'm maybe 10 minutes total for the past like week. So
wow,
not total, but 10 minutes a day.
Yeah. That's just for Instagram specifically, or is that all like socials?
That's Instagram. I don't really have any other socials, to be honest.
Cool.
Like Snapchat, but I don't really use it except for just
babes. Yeah.
Basic communication. And then that's really about it.
That's good, because Snapchat is for children and old people, and there's nothing wrong with using it, because I used it as a sex worker, but you have to understand that it's a weird one just to use at any given time. I think anyway, we don't have to talk about Snapchat, but I'm just glad you're using it just functionally, not dysfunctionally, but just functionally. But that's good that I'm not limiting anything. I'm actually kind of falling back into Instagram, which is not good. But I told myself it was just a promo, gigafried, and then try to get that going, which is going okay at the current rate. I mean, 200 is not like nothing, but it is mostly probably just bots and like people who spend all their time on Instagram. So they're not like fans. They're just like, oh, someone followed me, so I'm going to follow them back, sort of thing. But yeah, Instagram's gay. Shout out Mark. Shout out Marky Mark. Okay, so no sex then? No, nothing else. Nothing. You asked me for a topic like earlier this week, and I was like, I don't know, man. I'm editing episode 2 still.
Explain that hat?
Sure. So this hat, so this logo is the Geraldo Jank ASMR like everything logo that I used for a lot of things. And a girl I was dating sent me this vibrator that she was looking to buy. This was back in like 2020. And I was like, that looks like a little turtle. And so I put glasses on it. And then I just used it randomly because it just had it like saved on my desktop. And then that just kind of became my logo. So then I got it printed on a hat and on some socks. And if you're interested, it's for sale on goodluckgabe.life. It's just drop shipped. I don't print them myself, obviously. So I actually get, if you want to bankrupt me, I actually take a loss every time someone orders one. Because I didn't calculate my taxes and whatever correctly in shipping, so like it just I can change it, but like only only one person has bought it, and I was like, oh, I lost money on that actually. But you know, a lot of businesses do that, I think, to just get the brand out there. But obviously there's no name on it, there's no nothing, so if someone saw this, it's just like, oh, it's a dick with glasses or something, I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's what this hat is. I wasn't trying to flex. I liked it. I actually end up liking this hat a lot. It's ribbed.
That's nice.
Yeah.
Room for your pleasure.
Precisely, for everyone's pleasure. The person who bought this hat, the only one who bought it, was a fan that I actually ended up meeting here in New Orleans, and it did not go well because, well, she's fucked up. But I just kind of was like, yeah, let's. I didn't know that. I was just like, I'm not gonna screen you too hard. Let's just, if you're gonna be here, let's hang out. And she seemed hot, and she seemed normal. And anyway, she may or may not still listen to this. I don't know, but or at least like follow me or whatever. But we're cool now. But it was really, really uncomfortable and awkward, and she was just as fucked up as I imagined a fan to be. At least one that would fly out to New Orleans to meet me. So
For real.
yeah, shocker.
Do like
Shocking.
golden get big enough where it's like a golden age of YouTube era, like where you're just doing tours, meet and greet tours?
There was a time where I thought it'd be funny to like drive across the country and like fuck the people who like wanted to fuck me, which is really insane. Insane. But
that actually is almost like life as art. I actually love that idea. Not for myself. I don't think. Yeah, no, not for myself, obviously. But I can imagine as like a character and taking your life as like a process of performance art. That if you did that and you documented it very thoroughly, maybe not necessarily with video, but maybe like writing about it or something, that could be very interesting.
Yeah, there's part of me that wishes. I mean, I still could do it, but it definitely lost my wind. But I appreciate that. Maybe I still can. At this point, I don't think there's enough. The thing is like people will say they want to fuck you, and then there have been multiple times where I'm like, okay, I'm like actually in your area, you know, and then it's like
cold feet.
It's like no, and I'm like, well, yeah, I'm glad you said no because that'd be insane, but also like, you know, told you.
That's kind of how like a lot of Tinder is these days, apparently.
Oh sure, yeah. Tinder's very flaky, but also like, you know. It's insane enough to like message like someone you just jerk off to, you know, and then it's also more insane to be like, sure. If you're ever in the area, message you back. If you're ever in like Delaware, like let's fuck, and I'm like, all right, if you say so. And one of them
How many of them were men?
How many were men? Like probably most of them. Probably like 90%. At least like the ones who like engage with me or like talk to me, yeah, like 90 average.
I mean, they would probably actually go through with it though.
Yeah, the guys absolutely would. I actually had a guy.
It's just the male libido.
Right. So. No, I totally understand. Yeah, and they'll pay too. It's not just I want to fuck. It's I'm gonna fly you out to suck your cock. There was a guy who used to just pay me like $300 straight up just to jerk off for him like one time. And we got to a point he's like, I'm paying you this much just to watch you jerk off. Like how much to like suck your cock? And I was like, just said something stupid. I was like, how about 5,000? And he's like, okay. I was like, wow. Are you serious? He was like, yeah. He was like, yeah, come to Vegas and I'll, but for 5,000, I want 3 comes. Like it was just like for one visit, he wanted to suck my cock 3 times. And I was like, I said no. But, you know, it's funny. It's funny to know the value of, you know.
Just switching teams.
Yeah.
$5,000.
For 5,000, I was like, that's probably still too low for me. But I thought about asking for 10. But I was like, you know, even then, I'm like, I still don't think I can cross that line. But I know a lot of men would love if I did finally for once in my life, but life's long, you know. I guess.
So you said you wanted to talk about just sex in general.
If you had something funny, if you had a fun sex story. I don't know about
funny, but I've seen these stickers. They there's like, I don't know if they're from the 60s or not, but it's like protest stickers probably from the 60s where it said turn the golf course into a public sex garden. And I'm like, you know what? That's actually a really genius idea that they should do. Like we should just annihilate golf courses and then redo like the way that they're set up. So they have like little tiny, very private little closed in areas, but with the perfect manicured grass. And you just pay like a cover fee and then you go in and you can have a little private little grove to fuck in. And they don't check you for any substances at the door or whatever. They're just like, if you're high as shit, that's all good by us. I feel like that would like definitely improve public mental health, just general mental health of the public by a lot, and improve a lot of relationships too. If it was just like that was a thing where it's like it's a priority. It makes your pleasure a priority, and we're not talking about like simple pleasure as in like, oh, I get a little dopamine from eating, but like extremely intense libidinal pleasure.
So I'm sorry, so we're turning the golf course into like a sex club kind of, or
no sex, like a sex garden.
A sex garden, okay.
Which is like, imagine like if you lived in a world where that was like seen like you know, a society where that was seen as like a big enough priority that it was like part of public works. You know how like the Romans, there's municipal fucking golf courses and shit like that, and the Romans built like coliseums or whatever, and the bathhouses and all that shit, where it's like, oh, what if people gave a shit about having a really nice pleasurable experience, a sexual experience, while also being in nature in this kind of like Edenic environment, and throw in some psychedelics, and wow, you've changed somebody's life for the better. They don't want to kill themselves anymore, you know?
Yeah, I mean,
might fix their marriage.
So you want like you want this like subsidized, like this is like like there's a culture that subsidizes this sort of thing.
I mean, like, if I was
as like the same as like a park.
If I ran the world, that's what it would look like.
I got you.
That and then a lot more. That's the modest version of what I would recommend.
Mm-hmm. No,
I would imagine like a society where if you want permanent pair bonding, like permanent monogamous pair bonding, like if you're very serious about a couple being bonded for life, like you would want their first night together, them to be like extremely high off of some sort of like entheogen or something.
What would be like the right entheogen?
So,
or like top three.
There's a couple ways you could go. You could do MDMA mixed with 2CB.
And just for the listener, I'm sorry to interrupt you. What is an entheogen, just to clarify?
Well, I don't know if MDMA counts as an entheogen.
Oh, that's fine. I'm not fact checking you. I was just curious. Like,
I'm gonna fact check myself.
You're good. My understanding, an entheogen, just by definition, is just something that produces deep connection emotionally, physically.
It's psychedelic.
It's a psychedelic.
Essentially, that encourages like spiritual experiences.
Okay.
But yeah, MDMA and 2CB. The male would have to take like Cialis or something because MDMA is a vasoconstrictor.
Mm-hmm.
And that is considered risky for certain persons depending on their health level. But you know, whatever.
Sure. Yeah.
These drugs are inherently entropic, and that's kind of part of it, is you're engaging in this kind of dangerous, kind of fairly risky process in order to achieve or experience certain things. Just like basically anything else in life requires risk.
So in the ideal situation, when you spend a night with someone, this is after getting married or like bonding?
No, this is be like as part of their marriage ritual.
Oh, I see. Okay.
We're just like inventing like a culture wholesale in my imagination.
I understand. I'm just trying to picture this more. So the image that keeps coming to mind, and don't let me distract you from the rest of it, but you've seen Melancholia with Kirsten Dunst. It's one of the Lars von Trier like Depression trilogy movies.
Oh yeah, no, I have not.
There's just a scene where it's like the opening third. It's the opening act. It's just it's like a wedding night, and like Kirsten Dunst is just like really miserable and keeps running away from her own like wedding reception, and then she ends up fucking like one of the boys, one of the help boys, like the butlers or something, like on the golf course, like in like the sand trap. And that's like the image I keep picturing. I know that's not what you're getting at, but like
Big oof.
it's yeah, and then obviously then they divorce or whatever, and then the rest of the movie happens. But it's like a really awesome like opening like act. I don't know if you like his style at all, but you know, he's a little pretentious, obviously. He's like an artist. He's an artiste.
Yeah,
so he's like he sticks to his guns, you know, in a lot of ways. But really, really beautiful movie. But in terms of fucking on a golf course, that's the movie that makes me think that would be fun, even if you're not cheating. But yeah,
it's better than the beach. Tell you that much.
Yeah, I imagine it would be.
Like perfect, soft, manicured grass.
Yeah, I don't know why they picked the sand trap out of all the nice grass out there, but
yeah, that ain't it.
It's funny. I'm sure that was intentional, of course. But yeah, back to the fucking on drugs. Like I have not been able to. I think we already talked about fucking on like mushrooms or like something like that, so we don't have to rehash it. But I've tried, but failed. But not that mushrooms are I don't think have vasoconstrictive or vasodilative. Like, no, it's just
you're too high.
You're just too distracted
to be aroused.
Right.
And once again, was it
sildenafil or Cialis? Yeah,
sildenafil or tadalafil. Mm-hmm. Those will solve your problem.
Gotcha. So, yeah, that was before a time when like those were like promoted hardcore to like young 20 somethings, you know. That was before
now
Blue
you
Chew.
Have people who their just dicks don't work without a Blue Chew at all.
No, it's pretty miserable. I was worried I would fall into that too, because I actually bought a bunch of not Blue Chew, but I think it was Roman was the brand. So we'll promote it on this show if you want, but Roman, or I think it was just Row Health now, but yeah, I started buying a bunch of dick pills so I could do the podcast and keep my dick hard for an hour, because I was like talking about fucking like my mom and like trauma and like wanting to kill myself. And I was like, how can I keep my dick hard and talk about fucked up shit? And I kind of did that for a minute. Which, yeah, it's a fucked up way to like rewire your reward pathways and all that. So, but yeah, sex. Love it.
I actually wanted to recommend that we like read a book to go over.
To like discuss like a book club.
To discuss, like we do kind of some book club stuff. I know that I don't know. It's one of my favorite things that the podcast Rare Candy does is they do. It's called Gain of Fiction episodes, where they just talk about books, but they usually talk about older books. They don't talk about a lot of newer stuff. They do a lot of Michael Crichton and stuff like that. But there's one specific book. I do not remember the title. I'm going to look it up. I think it's called Orgy of Violence or Orgy of Blood, which is about Rome, the Roman gladiator. It's like super sensationalized. Yeah, Gladiator, Orgy of Death. It's got like a 1-star rating on. Oh shit! But yeah.
And you've read this or
no? I'd want to read it because it's just like supposed to be like a turbo. I mean, it's not being added to like any lists of extreme horror or whatever. But I'm just kind of interested in this kind of like, if you could say, Roman exploitation fiction, you know.
Interesting.
But just how extreme and kind of debaucherous it's been described as has got me kind of interested, and it's only a $3 ebook. So it says gladiatorial combat formed the seminal experience and spectacle of the Roman Empire. Its regime of all-out bloodshed, mutilation, and decapitation allowed the empire to flourish with ever more innovative slaughterhouse spectacles designed to propel their audience's corporeal and sensory experiences beyond all boundaries. So right there, that first sentence is just very George Bataille, where it's about like the limit experience of being that close to death and having a what's the term, a surrogate death and or killing experience, but it's eroticized as well. And that's also like George Bataille's concept of the generation of the sacred and communing with the sacred is how close can you get to death without dying. And that the sacred in that aspect is a contagion, and that's why the state and the church must control it. Because if it was just egalitarian access to this approach to death, then everything would collapse and we would have no order. But yeah,
Is this guy just insane? Stephen Barber? Like, who is Stephen Barber?
that's why I'm into it. I'm like that. The fact that you asked that question, that is like the best way to hook me on something. That's why. It's because it's like, yeah, probably.
Yeah, I mean, 40 pages. That's all you could put out. That's all you could do, Stephen. Come on.
It's only 40 pages.
You call it the unexpert. How would you say this? Expurgated? Expurgated? I've never heard this word.
Well, that's got to be like some. It just. Let's find a Latin
unexpurgated
word.
Unexpurgated. Interesting.
To say uncensored.
Yeah, it's uncensored and it's only 40 pages. So, I mean.
Yeah, 40 pages is like perfectly short enough for to bang out for next episode. I was also wanting you to read the shards, and I'd listen to the shards on Spotify, and I'd listen to it again. Because it was that good, and it's worth doing a whole episode on the shards.
Yeah. How long would that be?
It would be a while. It would take you a while.
I was gonna say if I don't do a lot of listening as is, but maybe maybe it could be a bonus ep of the shards.
I mean, you've got the homoerotic thing going on already, so you really should read the shards and or Fight Club. Fight Club's much shorter.
You know, I'll be honest with you. I don't read a lot. I don't know if that shocks you, but I don't think it should.
It doesn't shock me, but I don't care either. I don't read that much. It just depends. I have like seasons of where I'll read or I won't for a while, or sometimes I'll just stick to listening to audiobooks. Right now I'm going through one called, I know this is going to sound stupid. Once again, actually back to our accidentally right on point with our episode theme. It's called, let me make sure I'm getting this right. Audiobooks. We're going to jump over. Yeah, here we go. Sex Magicians, The Lives and Spiritual Practices of Pascal Beverly Randolph, Aleister Crowley, Jack Parsons, Marjorie Cameron, Anton LaVey, and others. And I am just over halfway through it, and it's like covered a lot of interesting stuff. I forget. Yeah, was it Marjorie Cameron? I think I want to say she was Julius Evola's girlfriend for a while, but she was like literally the exact opposite of him. Julius Evola was like a fascist or a super fascist, like when like imagine like Nazi occult shit. Like he was the guy who basically like set the bar for that kind of stuff. And I think Marjorie Cameron was his GF, but she was like super far left.
Interesting.
Yeah. I think. Nope, it wasn't. Nope, that was Jack Parsons' spouse. Nope, Marjorie Cameron was not that person, but there was this other woman was Avola's love interest for a while, but he's like basically like wanted to promote like ritual BDSM as like a spiritual process.
And he just what has a bunch of it documented somewhere in writing.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, Metaphysics of Sex by Julius Evola. Here we go.
Metaphysics of Sex. Interesting.
Yeah. So, oh damn, that's wild. I don't know if this is true, but I'm like reading. Well, this is around a Reddit post. Evola used to cross-dress ever so often in his final days. Julius Evola on the magnetism of love. Yeah. I was never an Evola guy, for multiple reasons. One of the big problems, I'm not even gonna get into his politics, but one of the big things that's really like I don't like about Evola is that he's really against like chthonic mythoses and like believes in like astral or solar religion, and that we should like abandon like earth magic and anything that like leans on like either watery or underworld type themes. So
what?
yeah, you know, like chthonic myth where it's like the journey of a hero down
No,
into
I don't know.
the depth. Oh, okay, never mind.
You lost me
like
a long
here.
time ago. Like I'm trying to pick up again, but it's. I hope someone listening understands any of that because I don't. I'm sorry, brother. I'm not versed in any of that. Truly.
Yeah.
I don't even know where to start asking questions because it's like it seems like there's this like you keep saying like there's this fundamental like understanding, but it's like no not at all.
Okay.
So you can explain it if you'd like, but you'd have to start like really basic. Because it's like I was like we're leaving what the underwater like earthly magic what like that I don't.
So there's like, yeah, I won't actually. I'm gonna skip over that. I'm actually more interested in jumping back into. Yeah, her name was Maria de Naglowska, and if I can find the actual ritual practice that she engaged in, she started a cult called Brotherhood of the Golden Arrow, but it was about like departing from like the patriarchal like Christian era and engage in like inaugurating like a new era of like essentially like matriarchy. And that's like an oversimplification. One ritual for which there exists firsthand account recalls that a ceremony included a naked Naglowska lying supine upon the altar while male initiate places a chalice upon her genitalia and proclaims, "I will strive by any means to illuminate myself with the aid of a woman who knows how to love me with virgin love. I will research with companions the initiatory erotic act, which, by transforming the heart into light, arouses Lucifer from the satanic shades of masculinity." And I think they all like jacked off into this cup, and then they like mixed it, and then they would like inseminate a woman with it in order to try to like conjure up some sort of god child. Yeah. I forget what they called that, but so yeah, that fits in your theme.
You know, Adam, really, I just wanted funny sex stories, but I'm really glad this is the direction you wanted to take it.
I'm not really much of a kiss and tell guy, to be honest, but you
don't have to. It's not even about kissing. The funniest stories are just about how you jerked off in a weird place. But if that's kissing and telling, then yeah, certainly.
One time I got I was like I was probably 13.
No, we don't have to. We don't have to.
Here we go. Hear this out. Just let me tell this story.
Sure.
This is not a jack off story. It's how I couldn't jack off for like 3 months because I was at a Boy Scout camp, and I got a tick bite on my dick, and it got infected, and my shit hurt like hell for a really long time, and I was just too embarrassed to tell a doctor or anyone about it, so I just had like a fucking extremely painful situation I had to like live through for a long time. So yeah.
How did it last for 3 months, but then resolve by itself?
Or at least that's what it felt. That's what it felt like. 3 months. I have no idea, honestly. At this point, I'm probably just making that up, but it felt like fucking forever.
So it resolved on its own?
Yeah, it was like, yeah, we're talking 3 months and dog years. Yeah, it did resolve on its own.
Interesting. But like it was a tick that was on, and you got it off
tick
completely.
on my dick. A tick sucking my dick. Yeah.
I see. I had a Mormon friend who had that happen, but then they got a staph infection and almost died. But it was literally a tick on their dick too. Yeah, crazy.
Pretty bad. Fuck.
Yeah, well, that's because the head went in or whatever. They broke off the piece of the tick and it like went inside its cock, which is insane. Anyway, he's fine now. He's a kid, so his cock's fine. But you know, it's funny to think about.
There's one time I was hooking up with this girl, and man, this is so far in the rear view. I'm pretty comfortable telling the story, but she had like some sort of weird issue. We didn't know what was quite wrong with her biology, but her periods were not like regular at all. But we were fucking in the back of her car, and I'm like, damn, you're wet. And she's like, yeah, I'm wet. And then I like felt it trickle down my leg, and I'm like, wait, hold up. And it was like a murder scene in the back of the car. There was so much blood. It was insane. It
Classic.
was just, it looked like somebody got stabbed to death in the back of the car.
Yeah, was it smeared on hands, on windows, on seats?
It was hands, windows, seats. It was a beige interior Hyundai Elantra.
Yeah, cloth.
It's funny.
Cloth, upholstery. Yeah.
Yeah.
Good.
Yep. She had to go. She's paid like $300 to have it cleaned. Yeah. Yeah, that was wild.
I always clean up my own blood, but you know, that's just me.
That's just me.
That's just me, brother. I mean, if you can afford $300 to clean blood out of your car, I mean, just get a new fucking car.
Just leave. Yeah, I don't. It was super expensive. I think she got ripped off or something.
Just reupholster your fucking car, like.
Yeah. I don't even know how you would get that blood out of like nylon beige upholstery anyway.
I mean, I've got it out of my. I mean, yeah,
I'm gonna say I'm not experienced in removing blood from upholstery or fabric.
It's I have the tan upholstery. That's why I say that. Yeah, but nothing really that crazy about it. It's just a classic experience. But in terms of the not jerking off thing, I just think I don't really feel like doing this episode, honestly.
Yeah.
Should we just call it?
Just like, what do you mean?
Should we just not do it? I feel like this is like pulling teeth right now, so I'll just.
Whoa. Oh, really?
Yeah, maybe
the theme or what?
Yeah, just if you don't like, if it's not like a natural thing, we just say no and just do something else.
Well, no, it's not really coming to me.
I was just trying to give you an out, but like, it's totally fine.
No, I'm good. I mean, like, I'm good. I think. I don't know. I just don't have a whole lot to say about that.
No, that's fine. It's just we've hit a couple just like walls already, and it's already like 45 minutes of just hitting walls, and it's like, all right, maybe we'll just call it a day, and we'll try again another time, because I don't know.
That's fair.
It's up to you, unless you have something you want to. I mean, you're welcome to just read Wikipedia articles if you want aloud, and I'll just follow along.
Oh, yeah, I got you.
It's your call.
I guess we can call it. I think we do better when we have like a subject to talk about that we've prepared for, I guess, or like thought on ahead of time.
Sure. And like I said, man, it's you have the freedom to think about that one too, you know. You're welcome to suggest and contribute if you'd like.
Yeah.
To that process. But you know, I know we're just starting out, so it's not like it's not like we have an ebb and a flow or anything. The basis of the show is like virtually nothing.
I can't tell if you're disappointed or not.
No, it's not like because we didn't set an expectation for it. It's just like,
I'll be honest, I wasn't actually prepared for this either. I didn't even realize we were going to be doing this today until you did message me this morning, and I wasn't like, oh, I've been put on the spot or whatever. And I still don't feel like that. I'm just like, and I'm honestly like pretty chill with just riffing off of whatever, but like.
Yeah, but I thought we already. Are you saying you didn't know we were recording like today?
No. That's not what I'm saying.
Oh, okay.
No, but yesterday I didn't realize that. Or some shit like that, or whenever. I don't know. Like time's kind of been weird for me.
That's fine. You can just say like you didn't. It doesn't have to be like.
Oh, I'm not. I'm not really trying to come up with an excuse or whatever. I just like I'll just hold my peace, I guess, because I'm like I don't really have anything.
You're good, man. It's not you. It's honestly just like I don't know. I thought maybe you'd have like it's not like it's your show, you know what I mean? But like I'm setting this up for you, and I'm like doing these things. Like
oh yeah,
you know what I mean? And it's like it's not like I'm asking you to like meet me halfway, because it's like it doesn't really fucking matter. That's the thing, is like we're not predicated on like actually turning this into something. So like if you don't want to do anything with it, that's fine. But like I just
yeah, well,
I don't have
what
much.
Do you mean?
I feel like I just don't have much to work with in terms of like I don't know, like doing a show solo is obviously like that's difficult too, but it's like
yeah, of course,
you just force yourself to do it. But where it's like when you're having this dynamic with someone who like I don't know, like doesn't necessarily like we can obviously just have a discussion about anything, but like in terms of going in any direction, it's like I'm like receptive to what you want, but I just need to know like what that is.
Yeah.
And it's fine if you need the time and space to figure that out. I'm just saying, like, in the meantime, it's like.
You want me to play ball?
If you want, if that's what you want, but like, I'm happy.
Just not entirely sure what you're.
I'm just happy to play and like.
Not sure what your expectations are.
That's what I mean. Is well, I'm asking you what you want to do with this, because if we're both not preparing, then are we just doing nothing then? Because I don't think I can have conversations where you just read a Wikipedia article and I sit there and like stare at the camera like I'm Jim on The Office. You know what I mean? While you look down at your phone and I say, I don't know what you're talking about. Does that make sense?
Okay, I got you. Yeah, I mean, I get it.
It's fine. It's like you don't.
I'm just having like a tism moment with a lot of that stuff, because that is like it truly is like that kind of stuff's like my deep interest.
No, and that's
really
great.
Easy for me to like tunnel vision on that kind of stuff and kind of force people to absorb it, I guess.
It's interesting because like I like that because I don't know anything about it, but I can't have you just like talk like as if I'm supposed to know these things like you would any other person. So I understand it's great. It's the point of it is just saying like this is a show and it's not just like it's intended for someone to like hopefully like have an interest in whatever it is you're talking about. So like it's not that we have to educate people. It's not like this is an educational show, but it is like one of those things where if we get lost in it,
Yeah.
if I can't even like engage with it, you know what I
What's
mean?
going on.
Yeah.
I got you.
I need to be able to engage with it at least to some degree. And maybe like,
well,
I get
okay.
it. We can prepare, and like if you have a topic, then that way I can read about it. So like, but yeah.
So like instead of jumping straight into like, oh, I'm reading this book and these are some of the historical figures that are mentioned in it, it's like we start with the whole presupposition of like you're not familiar with esoterica really at all.
No.
So
yeah, that's the
like,
thing.
are you
It's like,
with like what sex magic is, for example? Here we can roll with this.
Not really. No.
Oh, you're gonna love this. So the concept that like we were talking about, like how you're only supposed to come so frequently
With the traditional Chinese medicine.
So that there's like this kind of general concept that whatever that energy is as well is also like can be harnessed to engage in magical ritual, either through the fact that when you're orgasming it's like you're approaching death, kind of like La Petite Mort, eyes roll back, and that you have theory A, it's like a deeper connection with your subconscious where you can let things in and that your subconscious is actually what gets shit done, or the fact that there's like some other actually metaphysical energy that's like released during like a conjugal process or an orgasm, right? So it's that not only the energy that's like physical, but there's some sort of spiritual thing that gets out
right.
into the world. And so there were folks like there's this guy who's an artist from England called Austin Osman Spare, and he came up with this idea of like, do you know what sigils are?
Sigils? No.
Okay. So it's like you write like an intention, like a desire, and then you make like a symbol out of the letters. You can like take letters out to simplify it. So it's like you can't read it. You don't know what it says. It's just
recording is on.
It means a statement. But like how they're charged traditionally is like a lot of people will like jack off to them because when they come, they're like, oh, that's being implanted deeper into my head than if I just looked at it. And the idea is you're supposed to forget about it. And that eventually that intentional worm its way into the universe through your like little subconscious backdoor to the collective conscious. You tracking?
I think so. So okay. In terms of that was just a setup, right? That was just the base knowledge of sex magic.
Yeah.
Okay.
But there's a lot more to like what people's theories are on it. It's just basically any ritual, magic ritual where they use sex. And this has been going on for as long as humans have existed. It's just there's a bunch of different like ideas about how it works and what you can actually do with it. And for example, like Spare made basically like a pottery fleshlight that he would fuck that had sigils in it, and he would like bury it and let it like rot and then dig it back up and then pour its contents out again. And that's like how he would like literally seed his intention into the earth and stuff.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Are there still people that practice that or like something similar to that?
No, it's actually one of the Spare is one of the most influential people as far as like modern magic because of how popular there's a branch of magic called chaos magic, which is essentially based off of that fundamental practice of Austin Osman Spare, which is kind of like a make it up as you go type attitude that if you believe in it, it's real to a degree. If it's imaginal, it's real to a degree. And it's the power of your belief that makes it actually occur. But like a lot of the sigil thing and then the jerking off, that's actually like one of the most popular ways to approach like manifesting desires actually currently.
Interesting. Is there a new like face of that? Like like a TikToker or something who's like made that The person that comes to mind is this guy. Like, it's probably not it's not magic in
Okay.
his sense, but like, do you know the guy named Will like Blunderfield or something like that?
That's the guy I was trying to talk about the other week.
Oh,
Yes.
really? Okay.
Yeah, actually, yeah, and there's definitely a through line there for
Mhm.
sure. I actually love how crazy that guy gets.
Yeah.
He's very interesting.
Yeah, I haven't done too much of a dive on him, but like, yeah, he does seem worthy of further, just being watched more closely.
It's like one of the things he talks about is like a greeting. I don't know if it's from Papua New Guinea or something like that, but it's allegedly from some traditional tribal society where they grab each other's cocks and they go like, "I see you, brother." That's like their version of a handshake.
Nice. Nice. That's based somewhere else. That's like not something he just came up with.
I have no way to verify
Sure.
that. However,
I believe it.
what's funny is I'm 100% sure I heard the phrase "I see you, brother" used as like a joke before I knew about Bloomfield or whatever. So yeah.
I see you, brother.
Now, just like, and it's like one of those things that like retroactively clicked. I'm like, oh, that's actually a very funny thing to say. Like locker room talk or whatever.
I see you, brother. Yeah.
I see you, brother.
I'm gonna start using that. Because I say I hear you a lot, or like I hear you, brother, but maybe not all the time. But
I see you, but like when you say like see like that, it's almost like the word see is like auspicious. It's like it doesn't mean see, it means something else.
It means I'm watching you. And
it seems something more than that.
Yeah, I see all of you.
I see all of you. It's like when you say like I know somebody in like the biblical terms. Like I knew her biblically. That means we fucked, right? So
I've never used that, but I believe you.
You've heard it or no?
No, I've never heard it.
Oh, really? Okay.
Well, I probably have. I just didn't like bother to even ask what it was.
Kind of an old timey thing. But yeah, which is interesting because it's like the implication that like knowing is something that's not only just like interpersonally intimate, but like in order to really know someone, you must like physically know them. You don't know a person until you fuck them.
So when they grab the cocks, is it more just the shaft, or do you think it's like they cup the balls and dick all in one?
The way I picture it is the shaft.
Yeah, that's what like you're shaking the shaft almost, but not like
just like pleased to meet you, sir.
Like a nice squeeze.
That's what I picture.
Because I was picturing that'd be kind of like that's almost more intrusive than just if you placed your hand almost like on top, like kind of not like cupping their balls too, but like maybe just like almost like patting, like underhand.
It's almost like vulnerability too. Or if somebody grabs your nuts, that's like almost aggressive. That's like, hey, I could fucking ruin you right now.
Yeah, it's like an insane trust. Yeah.
That could be kind of a funny, like we were talking about like fictional societies, but that could be like a really funny thing to go with. You know how like so samurai, you know why they sit like in those awkward positions where it's like that's clearly uncomfortable. Like,
I've actually been training myself to sit like that. Like what you like your heels like yeah, sorry, go ahead.
The reason they sit like that is to make their legs fall asleep so they couldn't stand up and draw their sword and attack people like readily. So because your feet are asleep, your legs are numb.
Wait, why would they want that?
Oh, because they're trying to make sure nobody was like getting pissed and stabbing each other in these meetings and shit. Which apparently was a whole problem, which is why they came up with this whole system for like the proper way of sitting.
Yeah. So there's really is there any other real benefit to sitting like that?
Well, so it's when you sit with your feet tucked under you, when you see like in like feet and legs together, where your calves and stuff, you're like sitting on your calves.
Oh no!
Or like if you sit with your legs wide, like you see guys at jiu-jitsu schools, that's apparently how they sat before, and that was like, oh, you're ready to jump off the porch like that. But if you have your legs under you, your feet are falling asleep, and you can't just go and stab people readily if you've been sitting like that for like an hour.
Interesting.
Which is kind of funny that they like, oh, we have to write a rule about this. It's also kind of similar to how like saluting works in Western culture, where it's like, hey, I don't have a weapon, you know, you show your hand open.
Does jujitsu have any policy on grabbing penis as like for leverage, or like grabbing genitalia for leverage?
No, you can't. You can't
just-
greet people with
Well,
a
not-
dick grab, and you can't grab people by the dick. However, you
Okay.
do have a lot of people. This is like a common thing in a lot of grappling where people will like sneakily try to like jam something into your ass, like they're like an oil check. Like they try to put their thumb up to your ass or whatever. The idea is just to make you uncomfortable for a split second so they can get a better posture.
Interesting.
They call that oil checking.
Huh. But it's frowned upon, or is it?
Yeah, it's
okay.
it's very frowned upon. But you'll see a lot of people get desperate. Not a lot, but you'll see people get desperate and try to use that one in competition. I've never encountered that personally.
And
however,
you've competed
in judo.
In judo, okay.
And I'm not very good at judo. I'm garbage at judo.
But you competed. I mean,
yeah,
you were trained enough to feel like you're ready to compete.
Not really.
Well,
I won't talk.
That's fine.
I fucked up really bad because I had been mostly doing just kind of like some freeform grappling stuff, which is like jiu-jitsu type things. And then I went and competed in jiu-jitsu, but they have a lot of things that you cannot do in judo that you can do in jiu-jitsu. And I did a scarf choke pulling upwards. And I had this guy, I was like, if it was jiu-jitsu, I would have won. But it was like, okay, they had to stop the round. And they're like, okay, you've got a penalty, asshole. And then I get like slammed, and then I get choked out when I could have won in the first round if the rule set was different. But that's kind of how a lot of shit works. So my dumbass. It was actually pretty embarrassing, but I didn't let it fucking ruin me. I like got, it was like choked out in front of the girl I was like dating at the time. And it was kind of, but at the same time, I was like really proud that I went and did that. That was like my first go. So
yeah, you still fucking did it. I mean, yeah. If that was your first like, competition or whatever, like, yeah, man. No, there's no shame.
Man, I can tell you, like, rolling with women is difficult. Like,
just having to be extra careful about.
Yeah, where you're like, you have to like
hands.
strike a balance between like, okay, I want to make sure that they know I'm not placating them, but I also don't want to like just destroy them straight out the gate. So you have to play this like balance of like, I'm not going easy on you, but I'm maybe dialing it back by like 10% off of like, you're already only going at like 75 or 70% intensity, and you're dialing it back a little more. But I also like have fought women that they were going 100, they weren't going 75, they were going 100, and they were giving me a run for my money. Where it was like these I'm pretty sure they were like Vietnamese twins, and I fought one after the other. It was really funny because my coach was like, oh yeah, they're from a different school, they're just coming here for open mat. I'm like, okay, cool. And he's like, you're gonna fight them first. I'm like, oh, okay, really? And I'm like, look, they weigh like 100 pounds max. And he's like, no, just fight them. And they were both just very, very aggressively like trying to land very well practiced like flying arm bars. And I was just like, it's like, imagine trying to like push someone, their legs are wrapped around your arm and they're trying to like hyperextend it, and you're just trying to bend your arm and push the woman off of you. I stood up with one of these girls wrapped around my arm. It was probably very funny to watch, but I was like low-key panicking because I'm like, man, if they keep this up, they're gonna land it right or some other thing. They're gonna catch me to guillotine because I'm just too like, oh, what the fuck. They were also very attractive, which didn't help. So And then there's other times where like I've rolled with women where I'm just like, just don't get a boner, dude. Just don't get a boner. Please don't get a boner.
Does that happen often?
No.
No.
No,
Okay.
generally not. Generally, like you're fighting hard enough, you have to worry about that with the ones you're not having to try very hard with, like the ones that are really easy to fight.
Mm-hmm.
And then depending on like if they're attractive, where I like fought this one guy brought his wife in and she was hot. She was hot as hell, and she was wearing like something that was a little low cut to be wearing to a grappling class.
Mm-hmm.
And she was like in guard or something like that, and I was trying to do a guard pass, and I'm just like, oh my god, your tits are almost falling out. What the fuck? So yeah.
And then they smell nice.
Yeah, that too. Then they smell nice. Yeah, exactly.
That's the part people forget, is as soon as you get in there, you're like, oh.
It's like the pheromones too.
It's very intimate. Yeah.
No. Where it's like, it's funny enough. It's like, you know, wow. I love it. Screaming.
Oh, she needs to get out.
She's trapped. But I like the fight rolling with guys is a lot less awkward. Even if you do end up with like ass and balls in your face, it's like I have zero interest in that, but it's like, okay, it's unpleasant, but it's like at least I'm not like, oh my god, I'm on the verge of having like a clearly very awkward moment with somebody that like you can't walk back from. Where it's like if you're straight, it's like really easy. It's like almost makes it's way easier to do that, to actually like wrestle with men, because you're like, I'm not gonna like I'm not gonna grab his cock, I'm not gonna get a boner or whatever. But with women, you're just like, oh, what if this does come across the wrong way and they can read my mind somehow? What if this woman like knows what I'm thinking right now, you know?
So. I think it'd be interesting to find out you're gay from doing from rolling with men.
I've always used that as like my example of like how I know I'm not gay, is because of like I've had like dick and balls like just straight up on my face, and I'm just like, yeah, can this stop, please? Get off of me.
Yeah, at least it's a mutual thing. There's dick and balls flying in both directions and not just one. But yeah, no, that sucks. Do you guys use like smelling like shit to their advantage ever?
Yeah, there are some guys that deliberately do that, where they just like they don't put on deodorant or whatever. That's been an actual they never wash their gi. Yeah, I've had that.
Damn.
That's really gross.
Damn.
Yeah, or guys who like kind of have like 5 o'clock stubble, and what they'll do is they'll like deliberately rub their chin on like the side of your neck to like give you a rash.
That's so fucking interesting. That's so annoying.
I mean, there's all sorts of nasty little things that they can do. Like one I hate is where they like grab the pocket under your arm and then they turn their thumb into your armpit. Like they ball their hand up and they go like that, and there's like a pressure point in your armpit and they just like wrench into it. I hate that one. That one sucks.
Is there a name?
So many of those.
Is there a name for that technique?
I don't know. I've just had it used on me more times than I would have preferred.
How long have you been training?
I mean, I haven't trained for years, dude, but I trained for like 3 or 4 years. So that's not actually that long.
It's still like a good chunk of time that you committed to it, seemingly.
I'd like to get back into it, but I also want to get into striking. But I'm also trying to learn how to skateboard right now, and that's taking up a lot of my time.
Yeah, the skating is gonna just getting the hours just like riding it around is gonna take some minutes, but good for you, brother.
I've really enjoyed the skateboarding. So
no, the skateboarding is a lot more freeing too. It's just like you just get up and go, and and then you probably make some cooler friends that way too. Then I mean, it's not that you can't make cool friends doing any sort of martial arts, but it is definitely a different attitude.
You don't get around.
It's a different attitude.
I like getting around. I like being out. I want to be outside, you know?
Right.
So,
yeah, man. Yeah,
you said you skateboard.
I used to. I busted my ass too much, and I'm like not afraid. Oh yeah, I'm afraid pretty much. I'm just like I don't need to. I don't have health insurance either right now, so it's like,
Oh,
yeah, it's not like a big urge for me to like go and. I've never broken anything. I've never like. It's just like you hang around like a skate park long enough, you just see too many people like break both their arms at the same time, and you're like, all right, well,
that's how am I gonna wipe my ass?
yeah,
How am I gonna? I'm not jacking off for a really long time.
like the worst I've had is like hitting my head,
Yeah.
like learning to drop in, and it's just like your friends get scared and they force you to go to the emergency room because no one wants to be liable for your concussion, but.
Oh.
Yeah, so like since then, and it's like, yeah, you can wear a helmet, but if you're like learning to skate, especially like, I
So
don't know.
you went to the emergency room from dropping in on like.
Yeah, I was just going too gung ho. I wasn't even comfortable on a board at the time. This was when I was like 17. Like I couldn't even like comfortably just like push, I was just like, I don't know why my friends were like, yeah, you can learn to drop, like go ahead. Like, so it's trying to learn to drop in on like a quarter pipe.
Oh, really?
And I went down and I just wasn't committing, so the board slipped out from under me, and like I went back, hit the side of my head like on the bottom lip. And they said I sat up and was like, I just shed like a single tear, but I wasn't like crying like sad. I was just like just like one
like the pain, just a pain tear.
Exactly. And they just got scared, so they're like, all right, we're gonna go and call your dad. I was like, fuck, you like just got
really
here.
Lame. That's really lame. They should have just like let you shrug it off. You were fine.
I mean, I don't know. I guess they didn't know better. I'm sure they do
They
now.
probably should not have had you do that if you weren't even pushing.
Yeah, no, they could clearly see that I was like still a fucking noob. So yeah, that kind of like not stunned me, but I was just like, I'm just not gonna skate for a minute now. But all my friends did. Yeah, it would have been the right time to like get into it. But
would you be comfortable with just cruising and stuff? Like,
I probably could get into it again. Like I still honestly like still. I got to a point where I was like at least practicing like ollies and like flip tricks, but that was just riding like around like a playground basically.
Okay.
But yeah, maybe. I don't know. It feels like a weird thing for me to be focusing on at the moment. Like it's fun. I just know I like, especially right now, it's fucking hot as balls in New Orleans. So maybe when it cools down. But the skate.
What have you been doing in your like daylight hours? I know you keep really weird hours, as far as I can tell.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, I sleep at 2 and get up at like noon. I guess like I'm living a ultimate slacker life. But that's part of my job. It's just like I think give it like left to my natural devices. This is what I'll be doing. But not lately. It's just been I've just been living pleasurably. So I've been able to enjoy like leisure without feeling like a piece of shit. So I'm just kind of enjoying that for a while. Cause like it's not like I wasn't
like mimosas in the morning when you get up.
No, just, it's not even like pure pleasure. It's just like not distracting myself with multiple pleasures. It's just like enjoying one at a time. So instead of like having breakfast and like watching TV and listening to music and also scrolling on my phone, it's just like I'm just going to enjoy this meal that I actually spent a lot of time like working on instead of just like throwing together like that sort of thing. So
yeah, one thing at a time. Yeah, that really does make a difference. I need to like stop like doing the YouTube meal thing.
Oh yeah, I mean? No, trust me, I did that for years. Every night, Scuffed Realtor was my dinner.
Oh no,
yeah,
that makes it even worse.
Yeah, I was watching Sam Hyde every meal basically, or some MDE related thing every meal because they put out so much content. I was like, okay, like great. This is my next 3 meals, probably, this Scuffed Realtor. Fuck. But yeah, between that, it's just like, I guess, guitar. I've been playing guitar a lot.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
What can you play right now?
I've just been doing a lot of finger picking shit. I don't know if you know, like Puma Blue.
I don't.
I'm trying to think who's like I like a lot of jazzy stuff in terms of like guitar, like anything with finger picking. Like if you have a suggestion, I'll probably like I'll try to play it, but I'm not like, I'm not very, I don't have a lot of music theory. So all of my learning is basically just like muscle memory. Like I know the chords, but I don't know like beyond like in terms of like what makes it a jazz chord, like so jazzy. I'm not gonna even try to talk about it because I'm like, I took fucking guitar lessons since I was like 6, and then like I just never learned the theory. I just was like, oh, I can read a tab and I can like memorize chords, and that was it. So
yeah, because like if I'm being honest, I don't even really know if you played like a jazzy guitar riff. I don't even know if I'd be able to identify it. What would make it jazzy? You know what I mean?
I hear you. Yeah, no.
When you say jazz, I'm like, okay, the closest thing I think I know to that would be like bluesy goth rock.
Mm.
But jazz and blues are different things, right? So
yeah, allegedly.
allegedly.
Yeah, they are. But again, I wouldn't really, to be honest, I wouldn't be able to tell you the exact differences either. And I think no one really seems to care too much in this multi-genre world we live in. But
I think some jazz dudes would give a fuck.
Oh, jazz, yeah,
sure, like,
musicians
jazz guys are gonna
musicians care.
Show up and be like, "Yo, what the fuck?"
Musicians care, but people just listening, they're just like, "Yeah, man, it sounds good."
Well, there's also like a type of person who's definitely not a musician, who's like a music nerd or an autist. Like we talk about like metal and shit, they're gonna get up your ass about like what genre of metal is what.
Yeah, I always wish those guys would like play, because like I want to hear, like, for guys who spend so much time like just listening and being a fan, it's like I want to know what, not in like a, oh, like you should play them, but more of just like a genuine, like, you clearly like listen to the like you have a very nuanced like understanding of like what you're listening to. Like, have you ever thought about putting that into like your own music? But not well,
that's like,
sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, no, I get it. That's like my experience with EDM, where I'm like, okay, yeah, I have like a very, very, my listening experience, I feel like, is very attentive.
Mm-hmm.
But like, okay, I go and I try to like learn how to do shit on a DAW, and I'm like, oh, yeah, no, this ain't happening, dog.
Yeah. Every time I open up Ableton, I'm just like, I'm just gonna make a hot ass beat clap, and then I go to bed. You know, like,
oh yeah,
it's just I missed out like on like the period I should have like focused on it, like, or I could have gotten really into it with my friends, was when I was in nursing school. So like all my friends were like making beats, they were all rapping, they were all collaborating, like they were doing shows.
That's cool.
But that's like, but I was so fucking busy in like nursing school. So it was just like on the weekends I would get to come out, I would drive out to Philly and see what they were working on, and like they would just be making beats and like smoking blunts all day. I was like, this is like, you know, and then they kind of, once I moved to Philly, they were kind of moving away from that, doing more like, you know, rock, like alt rock, indie rock, that sort of shit. So I was like,
wow,
all right,
that's an interesting transition.
Yeah, they definitely living in Philly, man, that's what it was. And also like we grew up when like like in high school, like those same kids were playing like stomp clap, you know, hey music, you know, the like Lumineers and like Head in the Heart, you know, all that shit. But
that makes it make more sense.
Yeah, so it's weird. Like there was a short period where they're like, we're gonna smoke weed, fuck bitches, get blunt, you know, get weed, get paid, whatever, and then back to,
I don't know how
something
you,
else.
like, how you that's just a really weird, like, those are like two subsequent U-turns.
Yeah, it's, you know, you can do both. I mean, there's I wish they would have kind of blended those a little more at some point, but they were very distinct eras seemingly.
Yeah.
Not that they can't like do both at the same time, but they just never like put them together. But yeah, I can send them to you sometime.
Still artists.
Oh yeah, there are. Yeah, so, yeah, and they're still,
that's cool.
Yeah, they're still putting out their work. I think, you know, even moving into their 30s. But yeah, no, I'm kind of like, am I going to commit fully to at least one thing? I'm not sure, but I've just been, the guitar is the one thing I'm like always kicked myself about not like committing to, because it's literally been just in my life for like over 20 years now, and it's just like I'm still just very basic, like, I don't know, very amateurish in a lot of ways.
I mean, but you like know, I mean, see, I don't really know much about playing guitar, but I mean, the fact that you've have you? So you said it's been in your life for a long time, and it's just been kind of like a slow on off progression, or is it like?
Yeah, it's just because it's like until like I came back from Lawira, like I was not even confident to like play it for people. Like I've played it maybe for like 3 people in my life. It's been a very private thing, and I'm like I've always just been so like embarrassed to play it, like especially when I was learning at home. That's why I never practiced. Like when I was taking fucking lessons, my mom was spending like shit ton of money on it, just because I didn't want anyone to hear it, and I was just like I never wanted to hear me like learning, like being bad while I was learning. So I felt that kind of is like a trend for a lot of things, but like especially when it was like music, it was like that's why I was like I should just make beats that way I can just sit in my headphones all day. I mean, like when you play guitar, yeah, you can like just put headphones on, but it's still like this thing that I lost motivation in because I was like I just want to play the same like 10 songs for myself all the time, and you don't really grow doing that. And I still play like those 10 songs, and like I mean, yeah, you can get better at those songs, but it's like what else
do you feel like you're currently getting better?
Yeah, I'm actually like, you get lazy when you don't have like a goal or a teacher. You just kind of like you like look up a tab and you're like, oh, I get the gist of that. And now I'm like, oh, like all these 10 songs I've played incompletely or incorrectly for like a long time, but now I can actually like watch a YouTube tutorial and like get to the end. I'm like, oh, I can practice this every day now if I want, and I want to anyway. So it's just like anything. I don't know why I'm explaining the logistics of like learning. Do you see yourself?
So you are setting like goals as you go currently?
Yeah.
I'm achieving them.
Yeah. It's really simple, small things, but it's just like, yeah, I can finally do this riff from like Woman, that song about Wolf Mother. Like woman to be. I think it was in like a GTA commercial a long time ago. Yeah, it's like yeah, like that whole shit. It's really corny like guitar riff stuff, but I was just like, that's why I learned guitar. I just wanted to play like dumb shit like that. So yeah, that's what I'm doing. But
but you could, with that level of skill, you could definitely be like a bassist for like a hardcore punk band.
See, and like that's
all you have to do is just like strum, just like palm mute.
And see, I always thought that'd be fun too, is to be like a support, like either like a rhythm guitarist or bassist, just someone who like and for a genre that like you don't really have to be that great anyway.
It's like just like ones and zeros.
Yeah, exactly. Like I thought that'd be fun too. So maybe, I mean, New Orleans is I guess a great place to explore that, because I don't know, the music scene here is like, it's very fluid. It just feels like you can just hop in. People always just need extra musicians, it seems. So
that's cool.
There's not like a lot of distinct like we have a band, but it's not like we have 4 members only. It's just like, yeah, we'll take on an extra like trumpet player, and like I think like every band here will just like take on like brass members, seemingly like it doesn't hurt to just have
everything turns into ska.
Yeah, it doesn't hurt to just have a random like saxophone like chilling. But yeah, anyway, so
that's cool.
Music.
I mean, I can identify with like the goal thing. Like for me, I've kind of like disappeared out of I don't know, a lot of social stuff, and I'm like, when I pop back into, or I like redevelop a new social sphere, I am kind of motivated by being like the guy who like, yeah, I just picked this up like a month ago, and I want to be able to impress people with like how quickly I've learned the skill. That's my driving goal.
Is that how you sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, I just want people to not be able to believe that I like started skateboarding in June.
I was gonna say, is that what skating's kind of turned into? Is like you want to really like rapidly progress?
Yeah.
No, and that's cool that you like have that mindset with doing it, because it's a lot of people like buy a board and like let it sit for a minute. So I think getting that habit for that first month is like gonna really do a lot for you. Yeah, especially if you're just like always out, like you're gonna connect with people who are just like, hopefully you meet people who just were like, yo, I'm out skating, or you're just gonna run into the same people once you.
I'm pretty soon I'm gonna have to buy a new board.
Oh, really?
because the board I have is not set up for doing like ollies or anything like
Oh,
that.
it's just for like cruising.
Yeah, the trucks are very loose, at least
Uh,
for a beginner.
uh-huh.
Like, it's got cruiser wheels.
I was gonna
It's like
say it looked like you had like the jelly ones or the big ones, the big wide ones. At least when
yeah,
I
it's
saw
got
them.
yeah that with a spacer so I don't get fucking wheel
Mm.
bite, and then it's like a 8 inch.
Oh, it's
Um,
like wide.
yeah,
Yeah,
it's not super wide, but it's
it's still
for
not
my
quite
feet,
sure.
and it also has like a concave kind of bow to the
Mm,
top of it. It's not flat
I
at
see.
all. It's very aggressively curved.
Well, that's good. It's good though. It's good because like I mean, yeah, especially if you're just getting like comfortable to like cruise, especially and like you'll be good doing ollies for now. Like that's not. I'm talking out of my ass because I'm not even. I've
Yeah,
never progressed beyond like past that. So
I'm gonna buy like a small board for with and put like really hard wheels on it.
yeah, you're gonna
Is
just go
for
complete.
doing that kind of
Yeah,
stuff.
you're gonna go extreme. Yeah, yeah. I would love to see you start like popping like tray flips and shit like in 2 months. That'd be crazy. But
I would love to be able to do that. I'm not sure if I have the coordination. My footwork has always been the weakest part of any sport for me,
mm, well,
which is sad.
well, that's where you can. That's where you're gonna improve. This is all well, not all footwork, but you know, you're
It's
definitely
neuro. I mean, and
fixated
then
on
I
it.
keep telling myself this is good for my brain, like neurogenesis wise.
Uh huh.
You know,
Yeah,
developing new pathways.
yeah, yeah, exactly. I think
My feet have been getting a workout. You don't really realize like, oh, feet muscles need to be exercised until you do something like this.
it's your toes. You're gonna feel it in your arches a lot, I'm sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, as long as you're rocking the right shoes, I mean, you'll be all right. You'll have the
Yeah.
endurance. Hopefully you don't. I'm praying you don't like hurt your shoulder or some shit because that'll fuck you up for a minute. But
I mean, I've been like the other day I went out, I bought a 25-ounce can of malt liquor and
nice.
Black and Mild, and I just like skated up and down the street that's like a kind of like a main drag for the shops and restaurants by this university campus out here. And I was just drunk because I my tolerance is like really low, and just drunk as shit riding up and down the road, and I would just like crash maybe every 30 minutes. I would eat shit, but you're so intoxicated, or not so intoxicated, but I was intoxicated enough that like of just total like surrender to the fall. I'm like,
Mm.
wow, if I was sober, I probably would have hurt myself.
Well, yeah, that's
But
actually an interesting way to learn how to fall too, because I'm sure that's like you understand like that is one of the biggest skills to have too when you're starting out is like how to fall properly. And I
yeah,
think being drunk is the right way to like know like teach your body how it is to fall off a board. So that's interesting. I never
I
thought of it, but
also that's like one of the hot boy aesthetic things going back to what we started talking
mm,
about initially was like, oh yeah, I'm like I look like the hot fucking 30 loser, like the 30-year-old loser that you will fuck, that you would fuck.
yeah, the Black and Mild with the malt liquor really like that really seals the deal in a lot of ways. It's like, oh, he's not even oh, it's a white guy on a board rocking the Black and Mild on the ear. Like that's
Yeah, no, I passed by a sushi place and there's this cute Asian chick eating with some friends. And I made eye contact with her and I smiled at her as I like blew past,
mhm.
like kicking back the malt liquor. And then she left alone. I don't think she was there with a boyfriend or anything, but she like left. She was leaving alone, and unfortunately, my mom fucking called me on the phone, and I was talking with her for like 30 minutes. But if my mom hadn't have been on the phone with me, I would have asked for that girl's number. So I was like, okay, this is gonna be so fucking easy. I am like, I'm probably the most interesting person she's seen in a while.
Really, there's there's no other drunk skaters rolling around these days.
No, drunk skater who's gonna be like, yeah, I got out of a fucking mental hospital at
Oh, I see.
the beginning of May, and my story is just like, you know,
Yeah.
gonna be more interesting than whatever fucking lame drama her peers have. So
You don't think these other guys also go to the hospital?
No, they probably all do homework for fun and
the drunk skaters?
No, I'm talking like like Asians who hang out with Asians.
Oh, I see.
Like Korean dudes. Like they like they like want to play basketball and like she might know like a dude who raps or some shit.
I see. Yeah, they're very clean. They're squeaky clean. I understand what you mean. That's kind of like, I think like I have my cousins in Vegas, you know, they're my Filipino side, and they like hang out with like exclusively like hot Asian people in Vegas, which there are a lot of. And they are kind of all boring as fuck. But also living in Vegas is kind of boring. But they don't have friends who like do something outside the norm, even though they live in like Sin City. Like you can be fucked up pretty easily in that city.
Just be like, hey, I'm a cokehead, baby.
Yeah, but like they live like an extremely suburban like lifestyle, and they just go to the like. There's nothing wrong with it. I'm just saying like, yeah, I can picture. Yeah, you're right. You probably are right. I mean, I just thought there'd be more. I just thought maybe why would she settle for you finally when there's a bunch of other drunk skaters ready to like fuck her life up. You know what I mean? But maybe you just came at the right time.
I'm hot.
Yeah. But do you think the other skaters aren't? I'm just saying, what's the competition out where you're at?
Who knows?
I don't know what the competition is.
I don't know. Most of the skaters I see out here are like underweight.
Yeah, it's a skinny, veiny look, skeletal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is what a lot of women want, but I don't know. Whatever.
It's hard to know. It's hard to know what they want. Yeah, when you see like the buff skater type, it's very atypical. Yeah.
There's that one guy that's like friends with Sam Hyde. Comes to mind. That one guy.
What's his name though? Was it Weck or like Wecking Ball? That guy?
Yeah, Weck. Yeah, Weck.
I didn't know he skated. Yeah, I think that was like one of his handles at some point was like Wecking Ball or something. I don't know.
Yeah, he's actually good too.
Really? I had no idea he skated. Maybe I did, but I don't even think of him as a skater. But I'm sure he is good.
It's just the buff dude who's not super funny.
I never knew his role. I just remember him from he had prominently featured in the iDubbbz doc, but
yeah, why?
he was like security. Is that what it was? He was supposed to be.
Yeah, he was supposed to be security.
Yeah, what's funny is I've been talking to this dude, and we're just like slowly we kind of quickly became friends in the last like couple weeks, and he had never heard of Sam Hyde before. Like he knew nothing about Sam, but he's like into like, you know, a lot of like plain like dude stuff. Like he likes like Joe Rogan and like UFC and like shit like that. And
it's like sounds like default.
Yeah, I was
Midwestern white guy type.
I guess, but he's like from here, and he's like, you know, he listens to this, so he's gonna hear that. But no, he's a. I won't dox him or anything. Not that it fucking matters, but it's just funny because he's like just learning about Sam Hyde now and is like connecting with people based on that. And I even told him, I was like, just be careful. Like, you know, like dudes are prone to just like letting that become like not their personality, but like taking in a lot of his, not propaganda, but just this like ideology and his messaging, because he just has so much content that like is so contradictory. And then he told me he like, I guess was like vibing with the chick or someone that he'd been talking to, and he's just like, you know, Sam Hyde? She's like, Yeah, and they like bonded over
No.
Sam. And I was like, there's no way. Like, there's no
fucking way.
And I believed him though, because he told me like they started by saying like, I think he likes Eric Andre too, and he just started with that, and then he just started like putting out feelers, and he's like, yeah, and then I put out Sam Hunt. She's like, yeah, I love. And he like he just started looking into like, he watched the iDubbbz doc, and he watched like his fight shit, you know, like the creator class shit, and it's just like, that's crazy. You can just pick up. I don't know if you just picked her up. I think they've been talking, but it's still like it's like an interesting feeler to put out to like women to see how like edgy their humor is. And yeah, and it worked for him. It's so weird.
That's one that I would I don't know. That's one I would probably keep in my pocket.
That's what I mean. It's like weird that I felt bad almost for putting him on, because I was like, oh no, he's going to like, I hope he doesn't go like
his life
full into this. Yeah. And he just starts saying like, making like, I've seen the dark side, you know what I mean? It's like, I don't want to put him into that, but yeah, I guess it's working out for him, surprisingly.
That's really wild.
Yeah,
Dude
there is a way to consume.
Stroke of luck with that one.
There's a way, I guess, to consume that like Sam's material without dipping into the dark side, I guess, you know. But we'll see. I couldn't do it.
No.
But shout out.
You know,
he watches on YouTube. He pays for YouTube, which is funny. That's not funny.
Like
I respect. He pays. He uses it for music, like YouTube Music. But
no, I've known a couple of people who did that, and it seems like a really odd thing to do, where they don't have Spotify Premium, but they just listen to music on YouTube, which is very strange.
Well, there is something nice about it, because you know, you have all those remixes that they don't let you have on Spotify unless someone like took the time to like register it. Whereas on like YouTube, you can add all like the pirated or like weird remix music to one playlist.
All the Nightcore music.
Precisely.
For your intro on your show.
Yes, precisely. And I'm like, there is some benefit to that. You can find all the meme songs you want and put them in a playlist. Whereas on Spotify, it's like most of the time not. But yeah, no, I thought it was weird for a long time too that people use that for music. But the way that it was pitched to me was that the audio file quality is better, but it's just like, I don't think I have too much hearing damage for that to even matter. I'm not going to be able to hear the difference. They say YouTube has better audio streaming quality.
That's what was told to me. I don't know if that's true.
I believe it.
That's what the individual in question told me.
I think YouTube subscribers are probably still insecure about, you know, they're not very prideful yet.
I think it's just like a hipster type of thing to do, and this person was like, they just deliberately do odd things, and they stick with it. They have all these bits, and they like commit to these bits. Like, for example, like every person who cuts this person off, they put their license plate in like an Apple Note file.
Huh.
Yeah.
And like, how many do they have in that file?
A shitload. Like, it's huge. And they've committed to the bit. It's just like a really odd existence to me.
I mean, whatever keeps them from like shooting up a mall, I guess. Like,
yeah, exactly.
Hopefully.
I guess. I don't know. It's just that one's like a head scratcher to me.
That is a weird association to also have. Yeah, in terms of like, if you don't know that many YouTube premium subscribers, and that it's a bad look for them.
Yeah, it's like Spotify has like queues and playlists, and it's really purpose built for playing music, where YouTube is not really purpose built for that.
Have you ever used YouTube Music's app, like the dedicated app?
No,
it actually works.
You're about to blow me the fuck out of the water.
No, it does actually work. I fully understand it because I paid or I had the trial of it or something at some point, and I was like, oh, this actually rocks because it's not just the music; it's also just obviously you're paying for the whole like suite, so you're not getting ads and shit.
No ads.
Yeah, so I'm about to go subscribe now.
It just like
kidding.
maximizes your like video consumption, and I wonder how percentage wise how much more like brain rot that of YouTube Premium contributes to, because there's no mitigating factor between you and just infinite content.
I hear that. Yeah, and I wish I guess it's probably good that I didn't have it when I was like in the peak viewing or consumer state, but yeah, maybe it's too late now. Maybe they won't ban our new gigafried account if I subscribe. Maybe if I pay money, they'll let me keep it. As of right now, I bought a burner phone and subscribed. I made everything fresh on a VPN and used the new number. So
that should work.
Unless they're just like, blacklisting like gigafried term, and if they have our faces my face saved, I guess. I don't know.
That kind of like case study Killstream. Like Killstream, they got like hard banned off of fucking YouTube. But I think they still have like some people who like re-upload them, Yeah,
it's like weird because allegedly, like if you re-upload content too, like that's a bannable offense. So I was like, can I re-upload the first episode?
How banned are we? Are you as a persona just banned?
Well, that's what I was wondering. I was like, well, they certainly have like face detection, like saved. It's like they have our faces saved, at least mine. And I have a lot of content that I put on YouTube at some point through multiple different channels. So it's like they don't auto ban seemingly, but it does like catch up to me no matter what I do. And it may just be someone who like knows that fact and just keeps reporting every time they see like me like
they got a hair across their ass about you.
Yeah, and so then when they see me put a new YouTube channel up, they're like, I'm gonna get rid of it.
That must be a pretty miserable existence.
Oh yeah.
Super ass mad about somebody you've never met.
See, and the thing is like I used to spread that kind of hate to people I never met. So it's like that's why I get it back. Yeah, exactly. I get it. I attracted that kind of energy. So
yeah, oof.
But I asked for it. In a way, it was like save me from this existence, get me banned so I can like move on with my life, that sort of thing. So putting the responsibility on other people to, instead of me just like quitting.
Like help me hit rock bottom, please.
Yeah, pretty much. That was like until I get 0 viewers on a video, like I'm going to keep as long as you keep consuming what I make, I'm going to keep making it because I need you to learn some self-control because you're the retard and you're the fucking idiot, not me. So that's literally what it was. It's really messy and stupid and ugly, but yeah, no, not many people were doing it at the time, at least not in porn. So I thought I was being cutting edge. But yeah,
no pun intended.
No, absolutely.
See,
always.
If you're rebranded, redid it, just a whole new thing, cutting edge. There we go.
You want it to what? And what
you do is you just talk about like tech advancements, cutting edge.
It would be fun to just be a tech guy. Those like tech reviewers on YouTube are really like.
Well, not like so.
Oh, sure.
I was actually going to go a very different direction than like consumer tech.
Nice.
So there's a Telegram channel I'm in where like I think it's every week they publish like a list of articles which have to do with like scientific discoveries and stuff like that, and developments in like really advanced and very strange and odd things. And I just picture that being a very funny thing to do, is you're just like edging while talking about like, CRISPR this, or like quantum computing white paper that.
I see.
Where it's almost like a news roundup, like type type thing, but that's it. It's just the only thing that's different is your cock's out.
I like that. I wish, yeah, if I was still doing all that, that would definitely be a nice direction to go. Something a little more straightforward. And that translates really well to like basic social media too, because then you can just censor it and it's just like, what's all that under the censor? What's going on under the logo there?
Oh yeah.
That's what I used to do.
That would be really funny.
Recording is on.
It is, yeah, exactly that. It's just censored, but you don't explain any of it. Just present it as is.
I was trying to do that for a minute, doing like those like Omega, or not Omega Male, but like Sigma Male like tips. But I was just reading them while I was jerking off, and then adding the whatever that fucking song is. But yeah, no, that's the old life. But we'll see. We'll see. If someone pays me $5,000 to do it again, I'll do it. Actually, no, I'd probably do it for. I'd probably do it for less. But no one's making those offers. People are returned to their normal lives, seemingly. At least the ones that were paying me, which is good. I haven't had anyone be like, "When are you gonna cam again? When are you gonna bully me again?" Yeah.
You still open to doing like commissions for the degradation shit, or are you just like closing the book on that, or closing whatever? Yeah, you know what I mean.
I feel like I never got too many like commissions for that. Usually that was like in a live setting. That was usually like a
like a super chat.
Yeah, it'd always be like a chatterbait or a streammate, jerkmate sort of situation where they're like, "Can we do a private where you race play, please? Can you do a private where you pee in a cup? Can you?"
Oh, that's really nice.
That was like literally my first show ever. It was like, "Can you just?" I was like, I'll be right back. I gotta piss," and they're like, "No, just pee now." And then I had another guy like pretty like within like the second or third week of starting, had me like fill up a condom, like put on a condom and then like piss in it and like fill it up like a balloon.
Oh, piss condom.
Yeah, precisely. And then tie it and then just hold it against my body and then describe how like warm it felt and how good it felt. And I was like, okay. I was like, they paid me like $400 for that.
There's a story. I wish I could remember it. There's a story rolling around in the back of my head that involves a piss condom, and I forget. I wish I could remember. It was so fucking funny though.
That was your piss condom or someone else's piss condom?
You know, it was my piss condom.
Hell yeah.
I think I was visiting my brother at his dorm, and I found out one of my coworkers at the time also was in the dorm. And because there was like his name was on a door or whatever, I'm like, oh, I know this guy. I fucking hate that guy. So I made a piss condom and I took a Sharpie and I wrote his name across the shaft of the piss condom and I left it on the counter of the bathroom, the communal bathroom in the dorm.
That's haunting.
It's just like a threat. Consider this a threat.
Do you think he found it?
I don't know. I would hope nobody would come and pick it up.
It's just like, it's a funny thing to be like, "Hey man, was that there's a condom in the bathroom with your name on it."
Yeah, it's like somebody wrote your name. Well, I mean, like, the thing is, like, it's just it's like the observer effect. It's like, somebody else out there is like thinking about you and they're a weird enough fuck that they pissed into a condom and they wrote your name on. Like, it's like, you're like, oh, who the fuck would do that? Who the fuck would do that? What the fuck?
Why did you
hate me?
Why did you hate this guy? Why did you hate this? Did you actually hate this guy, or was it just?
No, he was just annoying. He was just fucking annoying.
I see.
I was just being an ass.
Hell yeah.
Eventually, I started writing his name in bathrooms with his like phone number next to it, and be like, if you send me dick pics and stuff, or like you meet and fuck, but like in men's bathrooms.
I'm surprised more people haven't done that to me. Has anyone done that to you? as
No,
far as you can
no.
tell? No.
What's weird is I have had the same setup for like a wrong number text happen multiple times, but it's really weird is it's super believable. It's this woman, Evelyn, from she always has a different phone number. It's really weird. It's a Korean woman named Evelyn, and she's always trying to reach a doctor, but it's like, oh, I cut my hand. Can you reach out to so and so about this? And I'm like, you have the wrong number. And then another thing is like, oh, Dr. So and so, is my horse getting any better? And I'm just like, I don't know what the fuck you're trying to do here. Because it's not like scammy. She never like asks for anything. It's just really weird that it's like, oh, hey, it's Evelyn this. And I'm like, are you trying to like, you're like, okay, I'm a sex addict. So I'm just like, Evelyn, how old are you? Hey, how's it going? Like, are you just trying to catch me in an entrapment of me being like, oh, a woman who's talking to me and now I'm gonna fucking overextend or something? That's my paranoia.
Evelyn.
Yeah. Shout out to Evelyn from California.
Evelyn, come on the show.
Yeah, Evelyn, originally from South Korea, come on the show. I want to ask you how the stitches in your hand went. Yeah, she likes the first thing she sent me was her hand, which has been cut open, and she's like bleeding everywhere.
What the
She's
fuck?
like, I think I need to go get stitches. Yeah,
she wasn't asking for like money or something.
No, nothing at all. We just like talked about our jobs and education for like 3 days. But like, look, this is the first thing she sent me.
Wow, what the fuck, dude?
She's like, hello, Dr. Lee. This is Evelyn. My hand was accidentally injured. I disinfected it myself and stopped the bleeding. Lisa told me I need to go to a clinic to get the wound taken care of and gave me your number. Do you have time now? And I said, no, wrong number. No Dr. Lee here. That looks rough. Might need stitches. And that's where it just kind of like took off. And then from the same, hold on, is it the same area code? 914. 914 is the first area code. And then the second phone number, or the second time, also in Evelyn, was 954. But this is a totally different contact. Dr. Larry, this is Evelyn. How is my horse recovering? I said, I think you have the wrong number. And she says, sorry, I checked the number and accidentally entered one digit wrong. I hope I didn't disturb you. This is the same exact way that the last fucking conversation went. That's almost verbatim. So I have no fucking clue what's happening.
Do you have you found the any like horse related number when you Google like something like some variation of your number? I don't know if there's a way to like check that, but I'm curious, what did you ask that lady like what the real number was that they were looking for? Evelyn?
No, I didn't.
That'd be interesting.
It's really weird. And the fact that it's like a text too.
Yeah,
like
to send just a bloody finger.
Like normally you text people, you have like people's actual contact in your phone. You don't usually just ship texts to like non-contacts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is strange.
It is really weird. I don't know. I'd like to figure out where these area codes are. I think 914 area code. I'm going to look that up right now.
That sounds familiar.
914 area code.
I'm going to guess that actually sounds like Pennsylvania, but I don't know which. Or is PA or California?
New York.
Oh, wow. I'm wrong. Was that upstate?
Yeah. New Jersey. No.
Oh, never
Hold
mind.
on.
Never mind. I don't know my
It's
codes.
New York State. It's South New York. It's not upstate. It's like
I don't know my codes.
And then what else do we got? What was the other one I wanted to look up? Messages. Evelyn. Is my Dr. Larry, is my horse recovering? Like, what the fuck?
My horse. Is it? You think this is like a ketamine thing? You think this is a cat plug? Is my horse recovering?
This is from Florida, like Fort Lauderdale, Broward County. Evelyn twice. So strange. But I like didn't get any more communication after I called her out. I was like, however, I feel like this is the second time you've accidentally messaged me, and that was it. Like they're like, oh, the jig's up.
Like
the fuck. But like, have you ever do you ever get people who call you and then just like breathe on the line?
no, I thought that's just something that happens to women in movies.
No, I've had that happen to me a couple times.
You could hear them like breathing.
Yeah, back when I had a different phone number, I would get like calls and I would answer them, and it would just be like somebody like on the other line, like they wouldn't answer me. They just go, yeah.
Do you think it was someone you knew?
I have no idea. Maybe.
Like someone just like trying to fuck with you. But no one's ever been like, yo, that was me. No one ever.
No, like here's the no one's ever done that. And the weird thing is like I've always had like issues with paranoia anyway, and that didn't help. So
when's the last time you got one of those?
Years and years and years ago.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah. We do get them at work though.
Oh yeah.
But they happen to everybody who works there. There's just somebody who just like calls the fucking number at work, like, and they'll call like day and night. It's really fucking weird. Like they'll call like at 9 in the morning, and then they'll also call like at 2 a.m.
God damn.
Yeah, it's really weird.
God damn.
Yeah, my company, the company I work for is pretty shady anyway, so I kind of wonder how much of that has to do with not so much us as employees, but the people who own the business.
They're trying to intimidate the owners or something. Trying to get some message.
What jokes on them that the fucking owners don't know jack shit about what their employees are dealing with, and we'll communicate it with like reports and stuff, but it's like they don't give a fuck.
Yeah
They like call their house. If you've got a problem with them, don't call us.
Yeah,
damn, we're just trying to make $1.
Yeah, for real. That's fuck, man. I wish I was like in a phase where I could I was toxic enough to like terrorize people like that. Just
oh man, reason, used to be like my whole mode. It's just like giving people a hard time. I would like there's a park, like a drain, not really a park. It's like a green patch with a trail through it and some drainage areas like out behind this cul-de-sac near a community college I used to go to. And what I would do is I would go out there, and I found like dead dogs out there, and I would like drag their corpses, and I would like tie them up in a tree, like so they're like all like on display and shit, like they're art pieces, and their like eyes were rotted out, and I would find feathers and I would shove feathers into their eye sockets and shit, so it was like like an altar piece or whatever, and I would stack stones around them in these big arrangements. The locals fucking hated it. They would come and kick everything down and stuff, and I would put it back up.
What when was this? How old were you?
I was probably like 22.
Damn. Did people know you, like that you were doing it? Did they know?
No, I would just fucking keep going out there and doing it. I would spend like hours gathering like sticks and rocks, and it would be so excited every time I found like bones out there, because I would like add them to the collection, and skulls. Or like I would find like bird wings from like dead birds. I would just be like, oh yeah, and then I would try to come up with the most creative way to like reassemble these like animal remains. And I would build these giant cairns. They were huge. I'm talking like I would get stones that were like this big, and I would stack them like up to my waist.
Do you have any pictures of your work by any chance? Is there any evidence of it?
I did, but they're like on phones that are broken and stuff.
Damn.
But yeah, I did.
Did you do this completely alone? Or did you have to bring friends to just be like, yo, check out this shit?
I would do it alone. It was just like a hobby of mine. I loved doing it. It was just too much fun.
And what would you call that? Just like shrine building or like?
Yeah, yeah. I
Yeah.
would just build
Okay.
these weird, creepy ass shrines out in the
Fuck,
woods.
man, that's
I've
funny.
been doing that
That's fucking
since I was like
funny.
really young. Like when I was like I think 16, I went out actually in the same green patch actually. I bought a bunch of like feeder worms and like special cups and bowls and candles and stuff. And I made like this ring of candles and I put this bowl out and I filled it with mealworms with these candles around it and like fucking like geometric patterns that I painted in red paint on like this manhole cover that's out in the middle of the woods. That was also kicked over by somebody like 2 days later. They weren't really into that.
They weren't vibing. Yeah,
Yeah,
no,
either that or they're just feeling like a kid. And they're like, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna kick that" or something. But
that's
like, it
funny.
was. I love doing. I used to do a lot of that kind of stuff. When I did graffiti, it was mostly shit that was actually like that, where I was doing like sigils and stuff like that. Um, with like just like really drippy like paint markers with like metal tips, like just like blood red on stuff. Some of my stuff's still up and around town,
Hmm.
like in very visible places.
Really?
Yeah,
Huh.
yeah.
I like that.
I'm pretty proud of that.
I would be
Actually.
too. That's pretty cool. That's actually really cool. Does anyone ever like add to your art or like?
Oh no, because my shit's like way, way like up, like rooftop,
Oh, I see. I
like
see.
like in very specific and small. They're not big pieces,
But in terms
but
of
they're
like
visible.
the shrine stuff, they never like added something or
No,
contributed some
no,
animals
that
or
would be cool. I would like that. That's kind of what I was hoping for is that like teenagers would
yeah, that'd be
be like, oh,
sick.
that's fucking rad. Let's fucking keep doing this, you
Yeah, and then
know?
it turns into like a spot, you know, it turns into like a place where people like do drugs, you
Well,
know?
there's one thing I put up that this was years and years and years ago that I need to go revisit. I put this up maybe like 8 years ago, but I made a little shrine out of wood. I built like a little, like almost steeple shaped thing. I was using a scroll saw and I cut these little pieces. I painted it black and I took it with a bunch of items and I made it a little prayer on Tyvek. And it was like a prayer to the spirits of the spaces forgotten and in between or whatever. It was like an invocation of them for like beneficence or whatever, protection and whatever, just like trying to ingratiate myself to these spirits of these like forgotten spaces.
Hmm.
And I took it up there with pennies, like because I was just gonna do like, yeah, some pennies and a cartridge, some gunpowder, and then some other objects I brought with me. And I climbed up this old tree fort type thing that had been up there for as long as anybody could remember. It was like rotting. I climbed as high as I could and I drilled the thing into this tree. So it's like this nice little like nook or whatever, just sitting up there. And I have not been there since.
Hmm.
And I want to go visit it and see if it's still up there.
I hope you do. If you do, send me a pic. I'm curious about this work because I can picture it
Yeah.
kind of, but I'm sure it's insane.
I used to have a lot of art ideas like that. I wanted to go buy a bunch of baby dolls and like go out to Point Defiance and then like get like a ladder or something or like get those like arborist kits so I can climb and they go really high up so I'm way out of the way and then take like 9-inch fucking construction nails and nail the baby dolls in the tree upside down.
That's literally how like those spots, those hangout spots get made, or like you get posted on like what's that fucking site? It was like that's like the ghost hunting site where they're like, oh, I saw like something here, like and they mark it on a
I
map.
don't know.
Yeah,
I
I feel
didn't
like
know that
that's I feel like yeah, my cousins used to use that shit all the time. We'd like get in the van and like go to like the spot was marked like 8 times by people who said they saw like something crazy, and we would just like scare ourselves half the time. But I think the one time it was just like a homeless guy, you know. But it's just like there's like, that's like some dumb kid shit to do. It's just like, let's go find like this scary spot where all the dolls are like nailed up to the wall or to the tree or whatever. But damn, that rocks. If you ever get back into that, I mean, don't announce it here, but like, that's a really cool, that's a cool project. That's a cool project.
I'm very tempted to get back into it. I had this one thing I wanted to do for a really long time, which was just take a bunch of chicken hearts, like an entire container of chicken hearts, and then like get a bunch of fishing line and fishing hooks and hook a heart on each hook, and then like make like a mobile out of it, and then like hang it somewhere in public. Yeah,
that rocks. Like with like presented the right way with the right like if you don't like come off as just like a crazy dude, that's like, that is just raw art, that's
well, yeah,
it's just that's, I'm not saying you should like put it online necessarily, but it's just one of those things that's like, if with no context or setting, if that there was just a video of that happening, of someone, of like you putting that up, that's really cool. That would be really cool to find. Like it'd be a cool experience for someone to just like stumble upon. You know what I mean?
I've had ideas for just like crazy shrines that are based off of like cord and rope, like intertwining in geometric patterns, and then like little bits of bone. If I could get large enough like sections of like cattle spines and stuff like that. I've had a lot of interesting kind of ideas, or not ideas, but images in my head based around stuff I want to do. And I love to work with whale bone, but I don't know how hard it is to get your hands on like a whale vertebra. I feel like that would be a really cool thing to work with.
Interesting. Is there any reason why? Just like the size of it, or like
first off the size, and the second off that aquatic mammals are just fucking weird when you think about them fundamentally, is they came onto land and then they went back into the water.
Huh.
Like evolutionarily, it's just, they're weird.
That is strange.
They represent a very strange turn in natural history.
Huh. And I'm sure we don't really have a good understanding of why that even happened. It's just
right. I mean, I just find it just whack as fuck that, like, when you think about it, is like just the process is like, how would you even start the process of like, oh, we went from being terrestrial to like maybe part-time water, now we're full-time water, and we can't even survive on land anymore, but you for sure came from a terrestrial ancestor. It just seems very strange to me. And I think it's one of those things we were talking about, like, is the only way to really appreciate how profound it is if you force yourself to think about it like you're high. This is the same thing why I think snakes are interesting. It's because snakes used to have fucking limbs and now they don't.
So were they limbless then, limbs and then limbless again, or was it like they just lost their limbs?
No, I think they actually whatever their common like reptile ancestor was, it had fucking limbs. Like they had limbs for sure.
I thought like a snake was just a precursor to the limbs, but no, you're right. That's a stupid. Yeah. Huh.
Yeah. It's really weird.
Good for snakes.
Yeah. They're like, yeah, fuck that shit. I'm so badass, I don't even need limbs. Let's go.
Limbs are a liability. Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Well, fuck. I think we're a little over 2 hours.
I was about to say that myself.
I think we're good. I think we're really good. Thanks for listening in. I'll probably leave in that little part where I got annoyed with you. I'm sorry about that. I didn't mean to make it so awkward. I don't know. I appreciate your patience though for picking it back up, and not just letting me quit it.
Yeah, I wasn't really sure what was going on there. I'm like, okay, like, I mean, yeah, I get that we didn't.
It's all good.
Like, I understood.
It's all good.
I understand what you're getting at, but
it was not warranted for what, it's like nothing was happening. So, Yeah, that's Geraldo. That's just a character. That's just a character being a dick or kind of annoyed. That's not really me. Um, but no, that is part of that those like negative things like kind of bleeding back into my life a little bit.
Well,
Is
I'm
that
gonna
impatience?
go ahead and say this because I'm gonna be like, I'm trying to practice this for my
Sure,
fucking therapy, which is like
please,
transparency and shit like
please,
that,
yes,
and
yes,
being
yes.
really honest. For a second there, I was just like, hold on, does he just want me to say shit so I can get like clowned on, like in an edit or something like that? And that kind of like was like upsetting me. I'm like, are you mad that I'm not gonna give you some fucking
like
soundbite
material.
material by just like trying to riff on like NSFW shit, you know?
Yeah, I hear why that it probably came off like that too. Um,
Well, that's also me being really cynical, to be honest.
no, and
So
like I think what I had in mind too is just I was like, oh, we'll just make it a dumb bullshit thing, just because it's like I
yeah,
don't
yeah.
really know what else to do with it. But yeah, no, I'm sorry that that's how that put that thought in your mind. So yeah,
Well, it's like I know, like if I'm gonna present like weird shit you're not familiar with, I gotta do it in like, bro, can you believe that these people did this kind of shit type of way instead of just being like, oh yeah, and then
it's okay. Like
yeah,
I don't like playing up the idea of an audience. Like I just know it's supposed to like it's supposed to be an inclination at least at some point, but like it doesn't have to be. So it's like not for me to just like project this like, oh, we have an audience to cater to. Like we don't have to. It's yeah, no, because like hey guys, can you believe it? We're just figuring this out because we're like also like relatively new friends, so we're learning how to talk to each other seemingly like live, and you get to watch it happen, which I think is also it's also an interesting dynamic. I guess we'll just leave all of this in.
yeah, that's fine. I mean, like, yeah, because like that is something I was wondering is like the wrapping up things is with like a heartfelt thing seems to be like our kind of like our MO up to this point, and I do like that we had like this kind of like this real this real talk right at the end. That's cool.
Yeah,
However,
yeah,
that one little bit in the middle, I was like really not sure how to deal with that, to be honest.
it's okay. I wasn't giving you many options.
Yeah.
I was just saying let's call it, but yeah, no, in terms of like if that happens again, like no, you did the right, like you handled it I think appropriately, which was just to be like asking for clarification, and I was just being stubborn a little bit, and I wasn't being very clear. So in terms of like, I know that was uncomfortable for you, but I just want to say I think you did what any reasonable person would do. So I know you're
I've
not
had
saying.
a lot of
Sorry, go ahead.
practice with very impatient people in
Sure.
the last few years.
I was gonna say, yeah, you handled, like you're not. I know you weren't saying like you struggled with it necessarily, but just that, yeah, I didn't leave you with I put you in a weird spot, so I'm sorry for that.
No, that's cool. Just let's avoid that in the future, just because
Sure.
that didn't feel good. Is all I'm gonna say. That didn't feel good.
Oh no, I'm very sorry. That's not. Yeah, it's yeah, and I knew what I was doing when I was doing it. I guess I was just being, I was expressing the frustration in a very passive aggressive way. So
It's all good. I really appreciate it, and I've had a good time. So
yeah, no, I'm glad. Yeah, this was fun. It was fun in the end. But cool.
All right, final shout out.
If you have any final notes, any Base Canyon is maybe a thing. I'm actually looked into it, and it's like it is a possibility for me if you actually want to go.
Yeah, you would end up in GA for sure.
Oh yeah.
Which is like you have to pay for showers and stuff, so we'd have to like come up with like some sort of proper hygiene system.
I mean, how much are
Or
showers?
I'll just pay for showers.
I was gonna say
have no
I'll pay.
idea how much they cut.
I was gonna
You know
say
what? Fuck it. Whatever.
I was gonna say how much can they possibly charge for a shower? Well, I
Right.
might be surprised. I actually have no idea because paying for a
Yeah.
shower seems.
Or like what the lines are like, because I know in premium the lines were like I waited like an hour to take a fucking shower. It just
Oh.
depends on what your timing was, but it's neither here or there. I'm not gonna honestly. Final shout outs. I'm gonna try to make a tradition of this,
Sure.
but to all you ghosts out there, I love you. I don't know. It's fucking cool. I think it's a cool tagline. It's
I like that.
heartfelt.
I like that.
All the people I fucking forgot and don't pretend like I don't exist anymore. Namely, some close friends of mine from about like 8 years ago. You guys, I think about you guys a lot. But you know, whatever. That's for them. Yeah. Maybe cut that part out.
You
I don't know why I got so nostalgic right there.
Why you don't want the friends from 8 years ago part?
Yeah, no, maybe bleep that out. But
Okay.
I don't know. I have really no idea. You could leave that in. It's just weird. But yeah. All right. It's been cool. I had a good time.
Yeah. Yeah. Me too. Good night, y'all.
Night.
Let me go cause of misunderstandings. Now that I know you better, I get what your plan is. Damage, gaslit, you're driving me batshit. Wanna see me crazy? Well maybe I'll let you have